Things are getting pretty interesting in the Yankee land right now. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. So, I have today's lineup for you to play in the Phillies, Clearwater. I'll get that to you in a little bit, but there's some other stuff that I want to just get over with you. Okay, go over with you. I mean, so, and again, if you're a baseball fan or a Yankee fan, please make sure that you're subbed to this channel. If you haven't done that yet, just hit that button one time. And if you want to be in the loop on everything that happens when it happens, just hit the notification button one time. I'll take care of the rest. Okay, and I thank you for it. So, we found out yesterday from reports that the Cincinnati Reds are looking for a starting pitcher, right? Why do I bring that up? Well, the Yankees have a couple of starting pitchers, one of which they want to move, um, which I think is a bigger story than Nolan Arenado taking the trip with the Cardinals yesterday to come here and potentially showcase for the Yankees. Veteran players on high contracts generally don't do that. But this is no surprise. We all know that the Cardinals are looking to move Arenado. We all know that the Yankees, if they're going to do this, they're going to do it on their terms. So they're probably looking for the Cardinals to eat more than half, right? Now, could Marcus Stroman be added to this? But I can't see a Stroman for Arenado straight swap because the Cardinals already rejected that, right? If you add somebody like Oswald Peraza or somebody like that, maybe they'll be more amenable to it. Okay, as much as I like Oswald Peraza, he is out of options, and Nolan Arenado is better than him. So, and if the Yankees want to capitalize on the win now thing, this is probably a move they have to make. But that's not the only move that they can make too. Remember, I said the Cincinnati Reds are looking for starting pitching. Well, one other thing too. Will Warren pitched yesterday. He pitched well. But you know why he pitched? Because Marcus Stroman has opted out of pitching in games now, and is instead of opting into throwing live batting practice instead. Okay, that's kind of a little bit of a news there. And again, people are going to feel a certain way about that. I understand. I don't know if Marcus Stroman is just acting a certain way, or if he wants to just protect himself, stay healthy, and not risk getting injury because so many pitchers have been getting injured in games recently. So I get that too. And if he wants to be traded, this is probably a good way to market himself for it, right? To keep him healthy because he's shown that he can be healthy. He's shown that he can still get guys out so far. So, but there's a guy in Cincinnati, Matt McLain. I've talked about him before. He's a 25-year-old infielder. The Reds were going to try him in the outfield too. Now, it's a small sample size relatively, but he's got 1 year under his belt in the majors, okay? And he had a 3.7 WAR in that year, 400 at bats, 100 hits, 23 doubles, 16 homers, 50 ribbies, 14 steals, okay? 115 Ks with a 290 batting average. That's a pretty solid portfolio for a young kid, okay? And if there's any way the Reds would take Marcus Stroman off our hands for that kid, I would rather have that kid over Nolan Arenado. But maybe they would prefer Will Warren. Now I don't know if I know a lot of fans would not like to see Will Warren go. I would hate to see him go too, because if you're going to move Stroman in somehow, you want to keep somebody like Warren, who's shown himself to be a pretty valuable guy. We're having some other pitchers that are showing to be valuable pieces here, potentially valuable pieces here, Sean Boyle, Carlos Carrasco, and some of these other guys. So there's still 4 weeks left of spring training. So we're going to see some more guys who kind of show themselves to be valuable pieces too. But the fact of the matter is the Reds are looking for a starting pitcher. Can the Yankees get a guy like Matt McLain here? And they have a surplus of infielders. So very likely they would look to move one. And if you can give them a starting pitcher, why not? It might cost Will Warren, in which case you'd have to trade Marcus Stroman elsewhere, right? Because I still think he will get traded. I don't know when, but I think he'll get traded. Could trade him to a team like the Marlins, right, and get a comp pick if you can, or something like that, just for salary relief. The Marlins are still in jeopardy of being penalized for not spending enough. They're still like over $20 million under the threshold, and they've got to get over. Marcus Stroman will help them get close. So there's that. But there's no guarantee there. But this is putting some more pieces of this puzzle together. Okay? We don't know what the Cardinals are looking for in a trade for Arenado. We haven't made that clear. Okay? Arenado didn't play that great yesterday, but it's only one game too, and the batters are always behind the pitchers in spring training first week or two. No surprise there. Okay, so, but maybe he's saying, "Yeah, come and get me, guys. I want to play with Paul Goldschmidt again. I want to come play with Aaron Judge." The fact is, the Yankees are closer to competing than the Cardinals are, right? And I know the Yankees' first preference will be Brendan Donovan, as would mine, but chance of that happening are relatively low right now. And we still don't know what the story is with Giancarlo Stanton, right? If he's going to miss a significant amount of time, I think the guys in-house there would be able to more accurately replace some of his offense, like Ben Rice and Dom Smith, as opposed to the guys in-house replacing third base offense. I think it's easier to find an upgrade out of the franchise than third base than it would be at DH. At DH, I think the answers are in-house, unless they want to pay money for JD Martinez. But the fact of the matter is, we just don't know what's going to happen with Stanton. If he's only going to miss a little bit of time, then it doesn't make a point. It doesn't make any sense to get JD Martinez. So I do think the Yankees are waiting to figure out what the situation is to get more clarity, is to figure out how they're going to pursue that side, the DH. But they do have a bulked up Ben Rice. They do have Dom Smith, who's been tearing the cover off the ball too. But third base still remains to be seen. I like Peraza. I like Oswaldo Cabrera, but I do think his best value is at the bench as a Swiss Army knife. Unfortunately, I like DJ, but unfortunately, I think they're probably gonna be more successful moving on from him now. Especially if he's shown that he's unable to play. I know the veterans are loyal to him. I get it. He's a great teammate. He's a leader. He's a great guy. He's just a great player, great person, right? But unfortunately, he can't play anymore. Well, I should say. So that maybe it's an easier sell now to DFA him and move on, right? And replace him with Oswald Peraza. You can keep Peraza on the roster if you don't move him in a trade. And would you have to move him in a trade to the Cardinals? Would you have to move him in a trade to the Reds? But this stars align here too. We haven't heard much chatter beyond Stroman for Brett Beatty to the Mets, so I'm gonna leave that there for now. And the reports now are saying that the Reds are looking for a starting pitcher. We happen to have one that we want to move and one that probably can be moved, who's showing to show some promise. And he's got multiple controllable years, as does Matt McLain, who's got five controllable years at the age of 25. Okay, and he can be moved to a different position at a certain point if George Lombard becomes ready in 2 years and someone like that, right? So there's that too. Jazz Chisholm's got 2 more years here. If he plays well, maybe they'll keep him longer than that. If he doesn't, maybe they'll move on from him just in time for somebody like George Lombard, right? And Lombard McLean, something like that. So this can make sense, and the Yankees have a good amount of money coming off the books over the next couple of years, which makes it easier to extend some of their young players if they want to do that. So we'll just have to wait and see what they're going to do. But let me know what your thoughts are. Would you make a trade with the Reds, or would you rather make a trade with the Cardinals? And would you trade Marcus Stroman to either one of these teams? Would you trade him to a different team? I mean, if you can get a guy like McLean here and move Stroman to another team for a comp pick or something like that, then, that's pretty decent. And maybe you can still make a trade for him. I mean, you can still sign, let's just say you trade for McLean, he gets third base. And Stanton's going to miss a significant amount of time. You signed JD Martinez. You brought in McLean and had JD Martinez now. Something like that, right? But if McLean's going to cost way too much, maybe they'll go for Jose Iglesias, who's still unsigned too, like JD Martinez. So there are some options here. But to me, the most noteworthy thing is that the Reds are actively looking for a starting pitcher. And there aren't many available out there right now. And we have one that we're looking to move actively. But I don't know if the Reds want him, or would they want him and Warren. And if you're doing him and Warren, I want an extra piece coming back with McLean. Not doing 2 for 1. Okay? But that's just me. So let me know what your thoughts are on this. I really want to know if you've heard this, and would you make a move with the Reds? Would you make a move with the Cardinals? How do you see this playing out? And in the meantime, while we wait, here's today's lineup against the Phillies. You got Jazz Chisholm leading off at second base. Anthony Volpe's batting second at shortstop. Some of the OGs are in here now. Jason Dominguez batting third in left field. Ben Rice batting cleanup, first base. Everson Pereira DHing, batting fifth. Oswaldo Cabrera playing third base, batting sixth. My man Spencer Jones is in there in center field, batting seventh. Alex Jackson's behind the dish, batting eighth. And Duke Ellis, the speedy Duke Ellis, the Usain Bolt of Major League Baseball, is batting ninth in right field. And on the mound, Carlos Rodon. Hopefully he continues to progress too. The pitchers are looking pretty solid right now. Garrett Cole's throwing some live batting practice. He's looking pretty good. I saw some footage yesterday of Devin Williams looking pretty good too. So, but there's the lineup. But that's what's going on right now with Yankees. Did you know that Marcus Stroman has opted out of games and is choosing to do live batting practice instead? Will that affect team's desire for him? Would that make a team not want him, right? Is that going to make fans think he's a malcontent and so on and so forth? So I understand both sides. I can see the fans' frustration. I can also see his side wanting to stay healthy and avoid injury too. But the fact of the matter is, your job is to be a pitcher. You got to be on the mound. So stay tuned. Again, if anything happens today, you will get it. Just make sure you know what to do. Talk to you later.